This is Michelle Lowry, owner of Michelle V. Lowry Online Business Solutions. I give busy entrepreneurs more time. I offer email management, customer service, and administrative support to online service providers. If you'd like to learn more, visit me at my website, michellelowryva.com. I look forward to seeing you there. Have a great day.
I'm Kim Beasley, and I'm the host of Pamper My Business podcast, where you will learn tips, tools, and techniques that will give you the freedom to easily build your business brand online so that you can be seen and then sell to your target customers. I will be interviewing industry leaders and professionals who will share their knowledge and experience, which will help you brand your business online. Get ready to take notes and learn from Kim and her guests, because this is going to be a fun learning experience. Hi, everyone, and welcome to Pamper My Business with your host, me, Kim Beasley. And I'm excited because I have Leonard-Kim with me today. Woo! Yes, I do make my own sound effects. So, welcome, Leonard. Thank you for letting me interview you.
Oh, anytime, Kim. Thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure to be here today.
And I'm excited to have him here because he's a personal branding expert, and he has been featured in media, get this, over 300 times. He is the co-author of Dish the Act, Reveal the Surprising Power of the Real You for Greater Success. And he also operates Influence Tree, which is a personal branding accelerator that teaches you how to bring your personal brand, not brand, but build your personal brand, get featured in publications, and grow your social media following. And he just does it all for you in all that he teaches. So let's get into asking the one question I love to start with. And that one question is, what is the purpose of your business?
Sure. So any small business, big business, whatever it may be, one of the biggest problems that people face is getting people into that business. And that's because when you usually take a corporate brand or a small business brand, it's really hard for people to really connect to that brand and feel a synergy with that or affinity to it. And what really drives people to brands is knowing, liking, and trusting the people who work there. So what personal branding really allows you to do is make that human connection so more people are open to learning more about what your actual corporate business has to offer or your small business has to offer.
I love that. It's like you bring the humanness to the branding process.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
And because of that, I think that when you bring a humanness or likability to that branding process, it's not just a bunch of in-your-face marketing, but it's something that people can really relate to.
Yeah.
And with that in mind, I would love to know, how did you get started in business?
Sure. So I got started in business a really long time ago. I think it was about 2007 when I decided to leave my sales job. And I went out on an entrepreneurial journey to work with different companies, try different things, and work at small, tiny startups. And one of the things that I realized every single time I was marketing a different company was that once the company ended up going out of business, or once I decided to change careers, all that reputation that I kind of built up for that business kind of went away with it. And I saw that to be a huge problem, because let's say you're an entrepreneur today, 10 years from now, you might not be running the same business. Let's say you're running a startup or you're building a new type of company, and 10 years from now, you're like, you know what? I just sold my company, or, oh, you know what? I'm just going to try something new. So many people fall into a time in their life where they have to go and reinvent themselves completely and start over from scratch. And it was one of the things that I kind of saw because I was kind of living it. I did well for these companies. Like for one company, I helped us get like 1,000 vendors. For another company, I helped the revenue go from like $0 to $50,000 a month. And
Wow.
every time those companies like kind of disappeared, like I'd be starting over from scratch and I'd have to go and sell myself and sell who I was again. And it's become this tiresome process where it was like, I don't know how many times I could do this over and over again. And one day I had the brilliant idea of, I want to go out there and market something that's going to last, something that's going to sustain itself for a really long time. What if I market myself instead? Because if I did that, then who I am is going to stick around with me until the day I die.
True.
And when I realized that, I'm like, I got to go and market me. When I started marketing me, something I learned in sales back in 2005 was when I was working at Manhattan Beach Toyota, is that before you even go out there and sell your company, there's two steps that come before that. That's meet and greet and then sell yourself, because people work with people that they know, like, and trust. And the only way that they're going to know, like, and trust you is if you put yourself at the forefront of the company instead of putting the brand in the front of it.
True. I love that you said that, because it's so funny. I had this mentor once, and she was like, okay, what's your close rate? And I said, what do you mean? This is when I first started working with her, and it was a while ago. And she said, so of all the people that you talk to in face or over the phone or over a webinar, how many do you close? I said, probably about 95, 97%. And she looked at me and she's like, you're kidding me, right? I was like, no. And the secret to that is what you just said. You have to personally brand yourself and tie yourself to your business so that people can feel that humanness, that likability that you have. With that in mind, what are some of those hard lessons that you've learned along the way that has helped you to groom your business and it has helped you to become the success that you are today?
It's kind of counterintuitive if you really think about it. A lot of the success that I generated wasn't by me going out there and touting how amazing I am. It wasn't by going out there and saying that I was like the best person for people to work with, which is the natural inclination for most people to go out there and communicate. I think most people would be like, okay, I'm going to go and highlight all my accolades. I'm going to talk about the amazing success I've had with my clients. And they make it very focused on the good things that they do. For me, on the other hand, what I did is I kind of flipped the script around a little bit. I was like, why don't I be completely transparent and talk about not just the good, not just the bad, but my version of the ugly too. So what I did is I shared a comprehensive look at my entire life. And that included some of the most horrible moments ever. And the funny thing is, if you've been in the entrepreneurial world for a while, you probably heard that what you have to do is you have to put on this front that everything's going extremely well all the time, that you're very focused on your mission, that you get results, and you have to kind of carry that aura of success, or what some people may call faking it until you're making it. But when you kind of do that, what ends up happening is it kind of eats away at your soul, especially when you know that you might be struggling and having a bad month or something.
Yes.
When you kind of flip it around and you start being more vulnerable and you start sharing both the ups and the downs, what ends up happening is people start to really trust you a lot more than they would before. You kind of build camaraderie a lot faster with other people, where they're building instant connections with you, and then they're more inclined to help you go out there and succeed. So just recently in February, for example, my wife decided to walk away from her job. She was making $100,000 a year, pretty good income, $8,000 a month. That's pretty good. But when she decided to walk away from that, our household had $8,000 less a month in income. So I went out there and I kind of opened up and talked about how that was a little bit of a difficult, extremely difficult process for our household, because we went and we wiped out like close to half our income, right? And then that kind of has consequences, like downsizing the car. We might have to move back in with our parents, and like just things like that are ending up happening. But by going out, and then on top of that, like a lot of my contracts, they're usually for year term. A lot of them went to the time to renew, and I forgot to kind of go out there and hype up how much they need to go and renew. So I lost a few more grand from that.
Oh no!
So by going out there, it's okay, no big deal. But like kind of going out there and sharing what was happening with others, like some crazy stuff happened. Like I've been on sales calls left and right. I signed someone as a client who I've looked up to for like the last 3 or 4 years in this last week. That's covering a lot of that deficit. She referred me over to a friend. I talked to her tomorrow, and that should cover a lot more of the deficit. Another person that we were going to close about 2 weeks ago, he had a small tragedy in his family, but once he overcomes that, we're going to sign that. Plus, I have another deal going on with Invisalign. I have another deal going on with this guy who's going to build the biggest conference on the West Coast, kind of like South by Southwest.
Wow.
So crazy, because in an extremely short amount of time, like our household is kind of recouping all of that income that we kind of lost.
Yay!
Yay!
I told you I'd do sound effects. And that is a powerful story to share. And I think one of the things that, two things. Entrepreneurs need to get real and stop faking it until they make it. And also something that I love to talk about is imposter syndrome. When it comes to your business, faking it till you make it is not going to get you to where you want to be. You have to be real for your clients. You have to be real with your customers. And I have found that when you bring that realness, that humanness to the process, to your branding, that people buy into it more. And I love that what you just shared, because that's your realness. For those entrepreneurs who are struggling with the imposter syndrome, what advice do you have for them to encourage them to stop doing the imposter syndrome and to be more real?
I think what we have is, like, let's think about our culture for a moment. We have all these unspoken rules that we were kind of given to us. And this could be from our teachers, from our parents, from people that we work with, from online guides. Everyone's like, oh, you know what? When you're at work, you should act a certain way when your boss comes in. You should act a certain way when the CEO comes in. You should act a certain way when your direct report comes in. If you own a company, you have to act a certain way in front of an investor. You have to act a certain way in front of a client. You have to act a certain way in front of a business partner, in front of an employee. And that goes towards our friends, our family members, online, on LinkedIn, on Twitter, on Facebook. We're allowed to share like baby photos on Facebook, but we're not allowed to share them on LinkedIn. We only have to talk about this. And then when we go on Instagram, we're supposed to put out our happiest moments of our life. Now, if you think about it, like most people get checked into the psychiatric ward if they have like 2 personalities. But with all these unspoken rules that we have, like we have to carry like 20 personalities everywhere we go. And this is because of all the rules we were given. And if we're carrying 20 personalities, what kind of issues do we have? Is this causing our anxiety? Is this causing our depression? Is this causing our imposter syndrome? It could be causing all of that. And what if we could get rid of it by just being our whole self everywhere you go? And by going out there, the way to do that is you kind of have to take off the mask, you have to ditch the act, and you have to reveal your whole self. Now, we've been so accustomed to sharing all of our best moments. We're in like a highlight reel society where everyone out there is like, oh yeah, this is what I just wanted. This is the amazing thing I'm doing. Check me out. Look at this. And then like, we're real people. We're probably really struggling.
Are you stuck when it comes to figuring out how to build your business brand online? Then check out Pamper My Business free training that helps you learn how to easily start building your business brand online. Just go to free.pampermybusiness.com. Remember, it's free.